Hello and welcome. We're going to finish up on divine appointments today. Our souls get so parched and thirsty out in the world. Time with Jesus, prayer, and reading His Word are drinks from His well. Google the song, I Need a Drink from the Well, and have a drink. Since Jesus is the beginning and the end, doesn't it make sense to start and end our days with Him? He started every day of His earthly ministry with His Father and ended it the same way. It's a good example for us to follow. There are sins of omission. Not spending time with God could be considered one of them because it's omitting Him from our life. Not a good idea. When it comes to prayer time with Him, you may want to keep a journal with the date of the prayer and when and how it was answered. It can help you see that He really does answer, and that's a real faith builder. This church gives out the daily bread booklets to help folks with their devotional time. Those types of booklets and books are helpful, but do not lean on them alone. Also spend time in the Word because of 2 Timothy 3:15 and 16. The number one goal of this time is to be in His presence. Mark 1:35 through 39. Jesus relied on prayer. Why? Because healing and teaching took a lot out of Him. 2 Corinthians 5:21. He didn't sin, yet He still sought out a solitary place to talk with His Father. Why? Because it showed His dependence on the Father, again as an example for us. It helped make His ministry more effective and gave Him guidance. If the great shepherd needs that time, then the sheep need it. I know I couldn't do this mission for Him without that time with Him. Jesus knew His mission, Luke 19:10 and Mark 1:39, and that He had an expiration date. Our prayer time brings 1 Peter 2:21. It sets the pattern for our day. Our nature is to solve problems. We need His help to do that. He wants to be our constant companion. Is He yours? Don't just talk to Him at the rest stops or lunch breaks. We tend to look at things through a keyhole. Our hopes and dreams get shattered. Things like the Uvalde shooting and the unprovoked war in Ukraine don't make sense to us. Spending time with God, praying, and in His Word are keys to help us understand. Why? Because it gives us new insight and a new outlook on things. It rebuilds our trust in His Word and in His promises. We can't learn and grow if we don't spend time with the teacher and in His textbook, Luke 24:28 and 29. They asked Jesus to come abide with them a while longer. They wanted to show Him their hospitality as a way of thanking Him. But then look at what happened in verses 30 through 32. This quiet time leads to praise time. Colossians 3:16. We need to let Him know He is welcome in our hearts. Praise makes Him feel at home and welcome in our lives. It reminds us of His mercy and grace. It also reminds us of our love for Him, and it blesses Him when we do. Accepting Jesus and getting baptized is only the beginning of our life with Him. So is going to church, but it also takes John 3:3. Sin is a barrier to our relationship with God. We do Isaiah 53:6. God clearly told Adam in Genesis 2:16 and 17 that was a spiritual death for him. It damaged his fellowship with God, just like it does ours. How do we fix that? By Romans 3:23 and knowing Romans 6:23. Another answer is in Romans 5:8. It's how we get 2 Corinthians 5:2. It also takes knowing and believing John 1:12. Then it becomes like the song says, to know him is to love him, and I do. There's another one that says, Lord, I just want to praise you and say that I love you. Lord, I just want to thank you and say that I trust you and thank you for being my friend. Sing it now from your heart to his heart. You will find the Spirit of the Lord when you spend time with him on a daily basis. He brings new things and good things to light. And oh, what a blessing that can be. Lastly, it brings that real love we all need more of. It's said that seeing is believing, and that's true. But there are also times when we need to believe it so that we can see it. It's also known as trusting in the Lord. Think of your time spent with him as grace moments. You may send your prayer requests to heanswerstwo@gmail.com. Next, we'll talk about foundations.